that the kids are using and what the kid is actually using. And that leads sometimes to legal problems for kids because they find themselves in some legal trouble that will follow them all their life. So it will be very important for parents to be able to know about the applications out there and educate themselves and their children, and then potentially make the children safe. And the statistic is that in 2009, Apple Store was the only app store with over 1,000 mobile apps. By 2014, we have three major app stores. We have Apple, we have Google, and then we have Amazon. And in 2014, Google had more applications than Apple, with 1.5 million applications. And they're very proud of that, to beat Apple, so you can imagine. And what I learned is that all those companies have very stringent regulations for revision of the apps. And they really try to view the content so that it's not leading to bullying, having pornographic material in the application. But you and I know that a lot of applications out there are being used to bully. So the question is, how did that happen? How did that bypass the review process of Apple or Google? Or is the app being not used the way it has been intentionally designed for? That's a problem out there too. And what I found is that the only application that are regulated right now, and that just came about in March, was for the health application. Any application that is, and that was the FDA that put up that regulation. Any application that has to do with health will be monitored right now by the federal government. Besides that, not other applications are being regulated by the federal or at the state level. So basically, if all the company have to do is get the copyright in to protect the intellectual information and have a business license, that's all they need to provide a application for Google or Apple to review. Once that process is approved by Apple or Google, then the application gets published. That's it. There is no other oversight by any other regulative agencies. And so what am I going to do with this project here is I will partner with Jenny that will have her teenager that will build website. So I will collaborate with her to get one of her teenage girls to build the website for me. And I've also found out that there is a company that have a database with a lot of applications that they house in those databases. I contacted them, and we are supposed to talk next week and see how we can exchange information, because that was very aha moment for me when I found that company, because out there is so difficult to get any information on mobile apps. And what I'm hoping to get is to get that website, and even Shrika just shared with me that there is a mobile application that is actually trying to do what I want to do. So I will look at it in more detail afterward. But what I need from people is to be able to bring people attention on it. Like our kids are at stake of those apps, so that we can get legislators to kind of regulate the process of publishing the application. Find something to help those kids avoid the judicial system at a young age. you know. So my call will be once the website will be up and running, or the app will be up and running, to have everybody advocate in the community, especially those that work with youth organization, to bring that application and eventually bring that application to DPS and Aurora Public Schools so that they can educate the parents that they have to learn more about the application that the kid may potentially use. Thank you. I didn't know I would talk like 3 minutes.
Rosine, I think, I think you were engaging. I like the way that you were engaging. One thing I might do differently is just prepare more and avoid saying yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I had Rosine. One thing I liked best about your speech was you gave lots of information. You kind of gave, you hit all the bullet points on why you were doing it, how you were going to do it. One thing that I might do differently next time, maybe just a little more movement. Maybe not wave the paper.
Okay.
Try it without the paper.
Thank you.
I like all those research you presented. A lot of good information in there. One thing I would like to see more of is at the beginning you mentioned the legal troubles that teenagers can get into. So you went on to explain about bullying and misuse of the apps, but I would like to hear more about some of the legal trouble that, like an example of certain apps and how they can be cause issues for children.
Thank you.
So I liked how your presentation was structured. I could tell that you had a structure to your presentation, and all of the information that you gave, I was interested and I was waiting to hear more. So you engaged me. However, I wasn't clear on whether you're doing a website or an app and how the parent would use it, or if it's for the, yeah, I wasn't really clear on that legal part as well, like how is it going to stop someone from getting into legal trouble, and is it a website or is it an app that you want to do?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, what I saw that was most impressive is the thoughtfulness that you've given to this project and how you've made it relevant for what's happening in the lives of children and parents right now. And you made a very strong connection, and you also did your research in terms of the app itself. And again, to be able to continue to build on those assets and the things that you're doing well is to be able to, as you're communicating with people, to delineate the app and separate it, your website is a marketing tool or the app, just so there's clarity around that.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Aset Miriam Ali. I am a family leader. I'm also the founder and the lead consultant of Beautiful Evolution Institute. We have been in existence for about 7 years, and we do holistic healing around spiritual and energy. My project is actually called Heart, Healing African American Relationships today. I'm very passionate about my community, and I am strong in my Blackness and in my womanness. And I love healing. I love to see things better than they were yesterday. Being an advocate in healing work, one of my mentors is Dr. Joy Guri, and she has done phenomenal research on a theory called post-traumatic slave syndrome. And it is geared towards the African American community. Upon doing research and finding and really going into her research, one of the things that I saw was that we're not dealing with post-traumatic slave syndrome outside of the Black community. How does the white community deal with post-traumatic slave syndrome? How do other minority communities deal with it? So my thought is that we need to go back to intrinsically who we are as Africans. And there are a lot of tactics that are done in Western psychology that need to go beyond and go into spiritual and energy work. And so my goal is to go beyond just what Freud said and all of these theories that are really based on European construct. They're based off of even our healthcare system. It's based off of the European body. It's not going, there are things, something as simple as melanin, the way our melanin works. We need to tap into who we are spiritually and begin to heal those relationships, because we have been so broken because of being in post-traumatic slave syndrome states. A lot of times we don't even recognize it. We don't recognize that I won't call you sister because of being broken away from each other. And it's a beautiful, second theory is called genetic memory. And as a lover of science in the brain, we are getting more research. It's not thorough. This is a very new research. It's about 4 years old on how our memory actually comes from our ancestors. And so we are tapping into that. So I really am going to start to tie that into this. Dr. Joy has done phenomenal research on all of this. So my goal is not necessarily to do the research and create a new wheel, but to give a plan of execution. What I need is participation. I need people in the Black community willing to get honest about needing to heal relationships. And how do we do it within our own nest first? And then how do we go above our nest and then begin to heal and represent ourselves properly? Like I and that X, like as soon as she. Yes.
I was just going to say, I love that you're working with Dr. Joy DeBrody's work, because I was just in awe when I first heard about her work. And I'm sorry, I don't really have anything that you should work on. I just wanted to tell you that. And, I'm a willing participant.
Thank you. Yes.
I think you have very relevant and at times shocking facts and background, and I think that it's still, and it shouldn't be, but it's still a major issue today. And I just think what you were saying is very intelligent. And one thing I might do differently is project your voice all the way through. I know that you can start strong and keep that intensity, and if you just project to the back of the room.
Thank you. Yes.
I thought the title was really cool. Heart, I think you're the only one that uses an acronym, right? And all of us, I thought that was pretty neat. Probably the best title for a project I've heard so far. It's really clean. So was the presentation, really clean. And I like that you're thinking outside of a Western canon for African American, especially African Americans that really identify with that African as someone like you. And I think you're a great voice for that, because you are really strong and self-assured in that identity. And I think you can be a good voice for other people that feel the same way for you. So, presentation was awesome. Maybe something a little bit differently is just even a little bit more presentness, a little bit more offset would even go even farther.
Thank you. Yes.
Question, have you read Waking the Tiger?
Yes.
Okay. So they talk about the genetic.
Yes. Yes.
And that was a strength that I saw again. And to have Dr. Joy as a mentor, the way that you put it out there, I think is good. This is mentorship position. So it's the confidence and passion, how you present your information. And I think building on that is, again, to be very clear in terms of what the project itself is. Because once you mention your mentor and the work and the research, at the end of the day, is how will, as I said, show up on this issue. So what is it that you want to do? It's an excellent job.
Thank you.